Hello there, my friend. Chances are you clicked on this video because you want to be better at squatting. Either because you're enjoying your training and your mobility is getting in the way, or you're just tired of feeling like a rusty old fridge when you're moving about in your everyday life. And this is our natural resting position as human beings. But you'll be forgiven if yours has left you, because modernity and its shackles of oppression have had you sat here since you were, 5 years old. But today we're going to go into a deep dive using evidence-based techniques to help restore your natural resting position and indeed unlock your athletic performance, whether you're an avid gym goer or you just want to feel better moving and grooving. Largely, in practical terms, we want to give some attention to the ankles and the hips. There's going to be a bit of a spine work in there, and of course we're under some deep knee flexion when it comes to the squatting stuff. But this isn't just going to be a series of fancy drills to get you feeling a little better in the moment. This is a session that you can come back to time and time again to actually create real lasting change. And whether or not you actually want to be able to squat really well forever, this is just going to be really good for the health of your joints and your quality of day-to-day life. All you're going to need to get the most out of today's session is you. And a pair of ears to listen to this goofy SOB's instructions, but I really care and I want you to enjoy this session. So, we will have the option to add a bit of weight later on when we come to checking out our squat. I'd like us to start off just by checking in on how that feels, and then we're going to get the session started. So, at the end of the day, everyone's squat's going to look a little bit different. There are going to be genetics that play a role there, and femur length, and this, that, and the other. There is no perfect squat, as it were. There's just you, how your mechanics like to move, but chances are your joint mobility, which is your ability to control the range of motion that you have, is inhibited, and that's what we're looking to correct today. Not trying to reinvent the wheel or find your perfect squat. Generally speaking, our feet are going to probably be like shoulder width. It might be a little inside, it might be a little outside. That's cool. I just want you to start off by checking out your common squat pattern, as it were. You can do what you want with your hands. It's a little awkward. I'm just going to hold mine here, and we just want to see where we can comfortably sit to, all right? Again, today is not looking about me or anyone else. It's about just seeing where you're at, meeting yourself where you're at, and then doing the work to get yourself to where you want to be. Okay? So, hopefully we've checked in. How do we feel? What's really screaming at us? What feels like the restriction? Where are we sort of blocked and getting stuck? And now I want you to join me either, if you have an adjacent wall or a couch, somewhere you can pop your feet up. If not, you can simply float them in the air, but we're just going to start off checking into the body in this 90-degree sort of leg position, kind of like you're squatting but lying down, which is arguably even funnier. Funner. Now, I want you to just have a play with your pelvic awareness, right? So I've got the arch in my lower back. I'm just going to tuck it slightly for the purposes of this drill. I'm going to find just a gentle brace, not a max brace. And I just want you to work with me here on 5 breaths, checking into the body. And if you're interested, let's try going for a 3-4 second inhalation, the same time to hold it, and then kind of 6 to 8 seconds on the exhalation. Do a little pelvic reset each time to check in on if that's moving, where it kind of wants to be. Is it stuck? Posteriorly, anteriorly, nice and neutral. But again, do that little bit of a tuck of a tailbone. Use your abs, this 360 brace in the deeper core musculature to just press your lower back into the ground. And now I'm going to shut up and we're going to do another 4 breaths. Okay. Now let's take a moment just to check your intention, and let's lock in the fact that you are a agentic human who's here to take positive action. That's a pretty good start. Given all the other things you could be looking at on the internet, this is pretty wholesome, comparatively dull, but comparatively a good use of your time. We're going to look at a little bit of spinal segmentation, just one time through. This is really important, and I'll always be sort of sneaking it in there, but understanding the position of your spine throughout squatting is useful. Not to mention we can never do enough of this stuff because most of us are really restricted here. What I would like us to do is be in this quadruped all fours position. It will look like a cat-cow, alright, that's a pretty commonly accepted sort of drill that you've probably done before. What I want us to do here is be a little bit different with our intention. We're going to go 3 really slow reps. We're going to try and articulate the spine 1 vertebrae at a time. And we're always going to work from the lower back. So I want us to start drawing the belly button into the sky, like you're trying to press your vertebrae as well into the ceiling, or the clouds in my case. And from there, I'm just going to try to not let any part of the body move, except the bit of the vertebrae that I am trying to focus on. Don't worry if this feels really abstract and strange, trying to move one thing at a time, but just do that, working your way up the chain of the back without letting anything else move until you get to it.
So now I'm in my nicely extended position, and I'm going to work on that lower back again.
And a couple more cycles here for me. Hopefully you're already getting some nice feedback of like, oh, okay, well this feels good. Feels good to move the spine. Didn't know I had one. And my last cycle through. Lovely jubbly. Okay, we're now going to jump into our first set of pales and rails. That's a series of isometric contractions. Isometric means we're not getting shorter or longer with our tissue lengths, alright, so we're contracting in place. Pales is progressive angular isometric loading, and the rails is regressive. That simply means for any given joint, in this case ankle, in this case in dorsiflexion, alright, so you can see there how that's relevant because we want to have some freedom of range there for when we sit down deep into those squats. Firstly, I'd like you to join me in this position, half kneeling, sort of combat base as it's often known, and we're going to simply, keeping the foot flat on the ground, don't let the heel lift in this instance, we're going to take the knee, drive it as far forward as it will go. For example, I can keep going but the heel lifts, so take it to just before the heel lifts, and then we're going to hang out and I'll carry on my rich explanation. I'm putting 2 minutes on the clock here, I'm afraid. So we're going to hang out here. You don't want to be in heaps and heaps of discomfort, but you should feel a meaningful stretch. Ideally, probably on the back there of the Achilles. Alright, as that ankle meets the foot and the lower leg. You might have some sensations on the front of the foot, but now this is important. If you have any pinching, I want you to back off, right? You just shift out of that a little bit. So we don't want any pinching pain in anything today. Any sharp, pinchy kind of stuff we want to stay away from, which is to say back out of the range, or if you need to, skip the movement entirely. However, this kind of work is very uncomfortable because you're going to be getting into new areas, you're going to be contracting hard. Hard efforts are uncomfortable. Stretching of fascia and musculature is uncomfortable. Back to our task at hand. So, at the end of this 2 minutes, we're going to do our pales contraction. That's where we're going to spend 5 seconds going from 0 to 80 to 100% of your greatest effort of the following contraction. The pales contraction, it's like we're trying to press the world away. So I'm trying to do that with my foot. Obviously the floor is in the way, so I'm not going to go anywhere. Thus the isometric. What that's in essence doing is trying to contract the tissue that is lengthened. Okay? So in this case, all that juicy stuff on the back as the Achilles comes in there, the stuff that you feel stretched. And then the regressive, so the rails contraction, at the end of our 15 seconds of pales, so that's what we're going to be doing for the pales contraction. Oh, the gains patrol is out. Just ankles, fellas, don't worry. The inside joke. The regressive, the rails contraction, we're going to think about trying to pull your foot into your shin. So what that's in essence doing is contracting the regressive, so the shortened tissue, the stuff that is in its shortened position, where the foot meets the ankle and the shin. We're going to contract that in its shortened position to try and pull ourselves deeper into this dorsiflexion. We do that hard for 15 seconds, and then we hang out there for 30 seconds, just relaxing in what should be our new range of motion, and then we repeat one more time. So just overgone our 2 minutes there, but now that I've explained that, that applies to everything, and it'll be easier to understand. So let's start ramping up. I'm going to start driving the balls of my feet into the floor, 20%, 40%, 60%, everything I've got now for 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now I'm going to pull my foot in towards my shin, hard as I can, without causing myself any pain, for another 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm now going to hang out there. Don't back out of that. You should feel some probably more intense sensations, because what we've done there is contract either side of that joint to pull you into a deeper range of motion that you've either never seen before or it's been a very long time. That is what makes this so powerful. And we're not just stretching, we are performing strength training. All right, those isometric contractions, we are performing those in your end range. That's the distinction here. That's how we're going to really not only open up new space, but get strong in that space. So we're going to perform another set now. So let's ramp on up, start driving that foot into the ground. 40%, 60%, 80%, up more if you've got it, and maintain for 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now go the other way. Pull the foot into the shin. 14, 13, 12. That's gnarly. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just going to back off some of that external weight I was putting on. I'm going to get a bit of movement supporting on my hands. Just going to do some sort of bent knee calf raise here, this kinetic ankle stretch. Drop the heel down. Just get a bit of movement, and let's get used to using some of that range. Just going to do a sort of soft Ken here. Okay, now believe it or not, I'm so sorry, we're going to do the other side. So let's adopt that same position. 2 minutes on the clock. Okay, but great, now we understand how to do pales and rails, and we can do that for any joint, and that will be a central and important part of our mobility sessions here. We're going to be doing another set of pales and rails for the hips before we look at some more end range strengthening stuff, as well as then getting into some squat grooving. Pow pow. My awkward English sensibilities are choking on themselves right now, trying not to fill this silence between us. But I can do my usual rounds of, hey, if this is the first time we're meeting, I'm sorry about that. But I'd love to meet more in this capacity, at least at first. You know, I don't want to make it weird. We do mobility work every Saturday right now. We've also got a 3 times a week strength program where you can use your mobility to build strength, muscle, athleticism. It's all happening over here. So whoever you are, please introduce yourself after we've done this important work, obviously. And I'd love to hear how you found us and what's going on, if you need anything specific. Bearing in mind, pretty much all of these mobility sessions so far have been at the request of a specific need from one of our prized community. So feel free to do that. Comment, message, whatever you want to do, and I'll make a video for you. Because chances are there's someone else with the same maladies. We're at 2 minutes, so let's ramp on up with that first dorsiflexion contraction. Balls of the feet driving into the floor, 20%, 40%, 60%, 80%. Everything I can do to dent that floor with my foot. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now foot into the shin. Pull myself deeper. Yikes. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Relax in giant air quotes, because you should feel a reasonably profound stretch somewhere along the way, as we are now sitting in a deeper range of motion thanks to those end range isometric loadings. Last one here, and then we're going to have a little play with our hips. Okay, we're going to ramp back on up for that pails. Alright, so drive that foot into the ground, push the earth away with the power of thy ankle. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now foot into the shin, pull yourself deeper, pull yourself deeper. Don't just rock forward, pull yourself in with that ankle. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back out of it. Kinetic ankle stretch. Let's just rock and roll a little bit there. Use your hands as much as you need to. Oh, I think it's gonna rain. And 10 there. Okay, join me if you will for another classic base in the 90-90. We're going to do a little bit of hip rotation work, and then we're going to do our pails and rails work for our hip capsule at the front. So here, the further away you lean essentially from your hips, the more accommodating any of these positions are. So do what you need to today. The more upright, the more you're obviously going to feel that one, well, not obvious at all, but you're going to feel that internally rotated side come on. In any case, use your hands as tools here. We're just going to do these sort of quarter rotations on this leg, then we'll swap on around. I want you to go really slow. I want you to imagine the air is suddenly made of honey, so you can only go so fast through it, and you have to create a lot of tension to move through it, like you're really scraping the edges of your available workspace. We're going to start off by picking up the foot. I like to pull my toes towards me to create some irradiation. Drive the knee down. Pick it up. And I'm scraping around that way. I'm scraping around that way. I'm really using my hands here. I'm swinging it through, swinging it through, swinging it through. Now I think I'm like externally rotating. Heel click. And then I'm scraping it back. I'm scraping it back. Don't let it dump now. Think about tipping water out the inside of this knee. Ooh, bingo. Let's do a little touchdown. A little kiss, Mother Earth. Mother Earth. And into number 2. And number 3. Oof, that was scary. Don't worry. That was just the whiteboard having a paddy. Cool, 3. We're going to do 3 on the other side. So switcheroo. Try to mirror your setup wherever you were with your hands and so on. Let's take care of business. Again, resist the urge just to drop through there. Think that you are rotating that hip externally to do the kiss. Last one for us here. Ooh, Billy. Okay. Okay. So let's set up in this 90-90 position now, and now we're going to be a little more specific about some stuff. I want to have that in field of view. So, let's turn over, chest facing over the femur at the front here. Try to keep this rear leg relatively 90'd, as it were. Turn over. I want you to imagine someone's put a lasso around your waist, right in that hip crease, and now they're pulling you back that away, but you can't go anywhere. So we're going to reach the chest long, like elongate that tailbone, until you feel a stretch deep in that hip capsule around that butt area. All right? I don't want us to do any collapsing through the spine here. I want you to imagine that stays strong and long, and it's the hip that we are looking to articulate. So for me, I've got a nice stretch there in that front hip. You might have to go deeper than me or less deep. That's the beauty of our individual souls. So, same deal here, except at the end of this 2-minute window, where we're staying in the stretch, our Pale's contraction is going to involve trying to drive the shin through the floor. Like you're trying to do that. Alright, imagine my elbow is my knee, my hand is my foot. I'm trying to do that. Alright, so I'm trying to drive that through the floor, swing it open in that stretch position, and then I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to try and lift the shin and the foot off the floor. Given that it's isometric in nature, we shouldn't have any lift of the foot. If you lift the foot, it's because you weren't at your true end range in your hip. Can be solved by a simple readjustment, probably some form of reaching the butt back and the spine forward to close that hip angle, and then your foot shouldn't do much more than just wiggle when you try and lift it off the ground. Okay, but the same protocol: 5-second ramp up, 15-second max effort into the floor, then 15-second max effort trying to lift the leg off the floor like that. 30 seconds in between, another set, and then we do the other side. And that's it for the Pales and Rails today. You'll be pleased to hear. Use your hands to brace. Yeah, the more force that you can create, generally the better, provided it's contextual to you and you're not doing yourself any harm. So being able to drive into the floor or feel braced and supported, that's a good thing. 22 seconds from now. Hopefully you're not doing as much wriggling as me. These khaki pants were a bold choice, but they're great. Very stretchy. Very stretchy. It's just this bit here. Okay, so let's start ramping up and getting a feel for how that feels. Start driving this into the ground. You should instantly feel that stretch tissue light up a bit more. Go 40%, 60%, 80%. Everything you got for 15. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now try and lift that leg off the floor, pulling yourself deeper. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now I'm relaxing in that new position. Now you will notice, not only did I do a little, because I felt a little bit of lift, not from the foot, because I can wiggle the foot all day, but I was able to get a bit of that lower tib lifted. So I maneuvered myself to actually truly hit my end range of external rotation. And now I've ended up in this deeper position because by contracting that tissue on the shortened side, it pulls me deeper in. I know I'm repeating myself a lot, but this stuff took me ages to understand and wrap my head around, so I'm sympathetic if this is all going completely over your head. Hopefully you're enjoying it, or at least seeing the value in it. Let's do our final pails and rails on this side. So let's start driving it down 20%, 40%, 60%, 80%, everything you got if there's more on the table for 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now try and lift that foot. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Okay, I'm now going to back on out of it. Let's just do 10 external rotations. So I'm now going to try and just shift away from that to where I can lift that leg a bit, squeeze into the ceiling, and touch down. It shouldn't come up loads unless you are in the possession of loads of mobility, or at least external rotation. 2, 3, 4. Again, you might need to be over here, right? That's totally fine. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. Let's switch them on over for our last bit of pails and rails action. Okay. I'll start our 2 minutes once we feel like we've got into our position. So, cool. Find that stretch. Make sure you can't lift your foot. So I'm going to get a little bit deeper. There we go. 2 minutes here. Don't blow over. Not again, damn it. Not again. I tell you what, the balcony is really growing on me. Even though the studio was cool creatively, because I could do what I want when I wanted, no weather to inform my choices. A green screen so that I can build worlds, but I'm not going to lie, training out here is more fun. I was in a pitch black studio for a few hours a day, wondering, how will I do this YouTube thing? How will I make it happen? At least now I can look to the heavens for answers. 1 more minute. What's more painful, my chat or pails and rails? Sophie's choice. .30 seconds, and then we'll do our ramp up on this side for our pails, driving the shin into the ground. Okay, friendlies. Breath. Brace, hands in support. Let's start going 20% into the ground with that lower shin. 40%, 60, 80. Your maximum effort for 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Externally rotate as hard as we can. Lift that leg. 14, 13, 12, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, holding that new stretch. Should be in a deeper position in some shape or other. You might see me use my hand here. If I feel my foot lifting as well, making sure that I am indeed at the end range, that can be a good thing to help you work your isometric. And if you're ready to rock, let's take care of business. So start driving that lower part into the ground. 20, 40, 60, 80, everything we got. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now try and lift the leg. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, back on out of it. Let's hit 10 lift-offs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Coolio. We're going to waste no time, friends, and finish up the hips before we dive into a little bit of squat-specific stuff. So we're going to look at just some maximum effort hip flexion isometrics. Alright, don't say I never gave you anything. Supine. Thank goodness. You can have your legs straight. I'm going to recommend bent knee. Just probably help with a bit of stability and help you not moving your back around too much. So I'm going to bring my knee into my chest. Not letting anything else lift. So just the end of my hip flexion, not then going into spine flexion. So draw that puppy in. So now we're in that position where it can't go anywhere. It can't go that away or that away, right? So lock yourself in. And I'm then going to think about pulling my leg, my femur, into my chest. Not with the hands though, however, with the shortened side, that hip flexor, responsible for hip flexion. Who knew? Okay, that's going to be a 10-second maximum contraction. We'll do 3 reps of 10 seconds and then we'll switch sides. Okay, so let's get a feel for what that's like. It should be a really unpleasant sort of cramping intensity. Just lifting my hand so you can see I'm not going anywhere. All right, keep it pulled in and let's go max effort here. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax the contraction. Oh, who knew? Who knew you had stuff on the front of the hip that could feel so many feelings? Okay, shut up. Next one. And let's pull the femur in as hard as we can for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Oh. Last rep if you're ready to go. And pull it in. Light up the hip flexor. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. All right. Number 2. Try not to contract your neck and anything else. That's why I'm resting my head on the floor. Let's find that position. Femur into chest. Deep hip flexion. And let's light up that hip flexor. Pull it in. Oh yeah, it's on. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Oh. Another nice deep breath. And pull it in actively. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Last rep here. Last rep. Okay. And we are on. Pull it in, pull it in. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, relax. Coolio. For the record, training your hip flexors like that in the shortened position, important for doing cool stuff. Your hanging knee raises, being stronger in a squat position. Anytime we have to have that leg lifting like that, which most of us are really weak in. See, can he do even, oh, like that. Look at that. The full L-sit. Training hip flexors help me to do those from the floor, or things like that. Let's have a look now. We're just going to come into our last bit of work. This is where you might want to add some weight. If you don't have weight or you don't want to, that's fine. We're going to just do a set of 5 tempo goblet squats, and on the last rep, the 5th rep, it'll be a 30-second hold. Okay. So, up we pop. Let's try and count for 4 seconds down. So 1,000. Just think about driving the hips back. The knees are going out. Pelvis just sits down like a nice hammock between 2 trees. A little pause and stand tall. 1,000. 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, 1,000, drive, 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, 1,000, 3 and 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, and 1,000, drive. Last one. That's where we're just going to sit ourselves down there at the bottom. And let's just focus on taking some nice deep breaths. Try and sit yourself tall. Wedge those elbows into the knees, can be nice. Do a bit of playing around if you like. And we'll just focus on doing some nice deep breaths. Okay, we're going to come out of that. You can either stand up or just crawl on out. Okay. We're going to partner that up with a 20-second clamshell iso hold. So, clamshell side plank from the knee. So the knee is down, the elbow is down. And I'm going to drive up off that bottom knee, but then I'm then going to lift that one to the sky. Main focus here is that glute med, so you should feel that outside of the hip now really lighting up for another 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, down. Quelle surprise, we're doing the other side. Alright. Knee, elbow coming up. Squeeze the butt cheek on that one that's down and open up here. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, down. Okay. We're now going to finish with another bottom squat hold. This is the last position of the day, bearing in mind any of the stuff like the drills, squats, or even the isos and things can be repeated. Can be repeated if you prefer to do a couple of sets, if that's how long it takes you. But for now, if you're really stiff in the squat, I want you to elevate your heels for about an inch, inch and a half, even 2. Yoga blocks are great, weight plates, even the handle of a dumbbell if you've got a nice stable handle, pardon me, and that can just be a really nice, more comfortable resting position for those tighter ankles so you can sit yourself down. But nonetheless, I want us to now try and sit in a more chill position. So we're not holding weight, we're not active or anything. Just join me in what feels like your most comfortable squat position. Let's scan the body. What's still screaming at you? Is it the front of the shins, the tibialis there, around the ankles? Is it your hips? Do you feel really rounded in the back? Do we need to have a look at some more spine work? Probably maybe some of and all of those things, and that's okay. I'm just going to use this moment here whilst we're resting in the squat to reinforce and encourage you that this stuff takes time, for the love of God. I was so obsessed with this when I was younger because I was so big and stiff and tight. I would just rest down here. I'd be holding onto furniture. It just took me a long time, and then I trained for a decade and all those things. Long story short, the time's going to pass, as I always like to say. So you might as well just try and accrue some things that future you is going to be grateful that you did, so that your body feels good, so that you can do things you enjoy, you're not inhibited by your body, and all the downstream effects that come from that, from either being inhibited or feeling free to roam this great world and do as you please, as long as it's with kindness and bravery. So that's going to conclude our session here. Naturally, you're in your squat. How's it feel? How's it feel compared to the start? You know, have you got any more freedom? Hopefully a little bit. Go out and use it. Whether it's the next lower body session on the Hero program, or in your own workouts, or just in their everyday life. Spend some time sitting in the squat, answering emails, watching some Netflix. This stuff you can stack with that. So take it with you. Let me know who you are if we haven't met before. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thanks so much for joining me. Lots of love. Ciao, ciao.